Wednesday Wellness. So each Wednesday I am bringing to you a different topic around self-love, intuitive eating, body image, all the things that I am helping women with. So I am Martina Wall if you are watching me for the first time, and I am your curvy self-love guide who is empowering women to accept and respect their bodies at any size. So I am so excited to be sharing with you today the topic of my video, which is self-love is not. So what self-love is not. So if you are on a self-love journey, or if you are not on a self-love journey and you find yourself either in that area of self-hate or just genuine dislike for your body, then you'll want to tune into today's video. Hi Kelly, I see you there. So with that being said, you guys, a couple things before we get started on our topic today. First thing, if you are not watching this on my Facebook group, I have a Facebook group called Self-Love at Any Size, and this is the group where we start to unlearn a lot of the toxic things that society has taught us about our bodies, about what we should eat, how we should exercise, all these rules. We are unlearning a lot of that and just starting to discover our true selves, shining our light, stepping into our confidence, all that amazing stuff. So if you desire to be in this group, we would love to welcome you into that group. Good morning, Cindy Kelly. I see you there too. Okay, and then secondly, wrong thing. If you guys are watching this on, okay, what is it doing now? If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I would ask you to hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications for each time that I come live. And there's lots of content on my YouTube channel. There's over 300 videos, all to do with kind of this kind of stuff. There's lots of yoga videos on there, meditations, along with just self-love topics, confidence, all the things, right? Someone else says good morning. Good morning, you guys. So, with those things being said, we got that stuff out of the way. Let's get into our topic today. So we're talking about what self-love is not. So I thought, I really wanted to just have this honest conversation, because when we often talk about the importance of self-love, we often don't really know exactly what it means. It's kind of a very vague term or concept, right? So unfortunately, there is a lot of misconceptions surrounding the word of self-love as well. What I desired to walk you guys through today is to just help clear the air and start to have more of an honest conversation about self-love and talking about what it is not. Oftentimes we're always talking about what it is and what we should do to get it. But today I wanted to unravel some of the things that self-love isn't. I see some other people on here. Sorry, it comes up as Facebook user. So hello, Facebook user. I'm happy you're here. So we're going to go through a couple different things today on talking about what self-love is not. So self-love is not merely positive self-talk. We've all heard kind of the advice of just to think positive thoughts, but as anyone who struggles with that negative body image, they know that thinking positive thoughts can be easier said than done. Like we can think that it's really easy and we're just going to think the thoughts and it's going to solve all our problems. But as we think about throwing out those few affirmations or mantras like, I am beautiful, this may make you feel good in the short term, but it won't necessarily help you to confront your underlying issues, because a lot of self-love is dealing with those underlying issues that we have been taught or been consumed by our whole lives. So the truth is that self-love isn't just positive affirmations. It's really taking action to create that lasting change in your life. I see Tanya there. Hello, Tanya. I see you. I'm going to add you up there. Hello. So that's kind of the first thing. So self-love is also not dieting or restricting your food intake. Especially this time of year, many people mistakenly believe that self-love means putting yourself on this strict diet and following it religiously, right? And that used to be me 100%. But what we don't realize is that when we restrict our intake and that we're counting calories, those are not forms of self-care. They are actually and can potentially be forms of self-harm. Eating disorders come from that inner feeling and lack and unhappiness rather than that overabundance of love for yourself. So if we want to practice real self-love, we have to really step away from those toxic systems and that toxic culture of the diet mentality and restriction. And we always are striving to feel good enough, and it's never going to happen if we continue to follow that path of restriction and disapproval of ourselves constantly, because that's really what diet culture wants to make us feel. They want to continually feed off of our unworthiness and our insecurities. So moving on to my next point is self-love is not fixating on your flaws. And this is something I know a lot of us do. We've all heard the classic advice of learn to love your flaws, right? But this kind of advice isn't always helpful because it encourages us to kind of fixate on our perceived imperfections instead of just focusing on our strengths and our abilities. So what we want to do instead is try shifting our perspective so that we see beauty in everything, our flaws included. Focus on what's making you unique and special rather than trying to be perfect in every way possible. And what self-love is not too is like fixating on your flaws. So if you are someone, I know, for example, something that I have always struggled with is my belly. So for a long time, I was always fixated on fixing that was something that needed to be changed about me. And it had to be something that I had to change in order to feel worthy and feel like I was enough. So as you can start to step away from those feelings, you will step into this new version of yourself that really focuses on what makes you unique and special. I see Leona there. Hello. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so moving on from that, kind of going off of that, it's not about being perfect. Self-love is not about being perfect. It doesn't mean striving for perfection. It doesn't mean that you should be happy with every aspect of your life or that you should ignore the areas where improvement is needed. Self-love just means being honest with yourself and recognizing that perfection isn't possible, and that's okay. Self-love means having that compassion for your flaws and forgiving yourself when mistakes are made. Because guess what, you guys? We all make mistakes, and we are going to continue to make mistakes. So really, self-love is not about being perfect, and the sooner a person can start to step into that idea, the sooner you will start to feel that shift within yourself. So from that perspective, moving into more of kind of the people-pleasing side of self-love. So self-love is not about trying to please everyone around you. It doesn't mean saying yes all the time or sacrificing your own needs in order to make others happy. Self-love really is about that connection piece, and it's about listening to your own needs and following the path that works best for you, even if it goes against what other people want or expect from you. And that's really hard. As a newly 40-year-old woman, I know from experience that this is a really hard one, that if you are a person who has had people-pleasing tendencies, it can be really hard to follow that path that is best for you and not anyone else. So it can be hard, but it's really important to remember that pleasing everyone else will never bring you true happiness, right? So with that being said, with those people-pleasing tendencies, working into self-love is not about comparing yourself to others. And this is a big kind of trigger for a lot of people too, is as women, and I even do this too, it's not about comparing yourself to others, because we all have moments where we do compare ourselves to others. And that can kind of make us spiral down into this place that we really don't want to be, and this place that is really dark, and that inner critic starts to kick in, and that negative voice starts to kick in. But self-love really means to recognize that comparison only leads to feelings of insecurity and unhappiness. And we don't want that, right? Self-love means looking at other people without envy or insecurity, because that's the ego talking, right? And we need to understand that everyone else will never bring us true happiness. And we have to know that everyone has their own unique journey in life, right? My journey is different from yours and different from your friends and your families. And it means that we need to understand this concept that comparison between two different individuals is never fair or accurate, because everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, values and principles, right? We are all uniquely different, and that's the beauty of each of us, right? And that's what we need to see in each other, not so much comparing of like, oh, she has this and I don't, or she looks like this and I don't, because that never ends well, you guys. It always ends in us feeling worse about ourselves. So with that being said, in essence, practicing real self-love is being kind to yourself. It's setting those boundaries when you need to. It's respecting yourself through those acts of comparison and understanding. And it's really giving yourself permission to do the things that bring you joy in your life, instead of without those feelings of guilt or shame afterwards, right? So really choosing joy and choosing your happiness and your joy isn't going to look the same as anyone else's, and that's okay. And maybe it does look like some other people's, and that's okay too. We just can't carry that guilt and shame and fear around our self-love anymore, and we need to step into that version of ourselves that really have that kindness and that compassion towards our bodies, towards our minds, towards our souls, towards our spirits. And really, as we do this, it's really creating those healthy habits for yourself that's going to lead you towards that true contentment piece and that true happiness piece, without relying on that external validation or approval from other people. So what I want you guys to do is to just go ahead and start to show yourself some love today, and share with me in the comments some ways that you desire to show yourself some more self-love, whether it be, trying to focus on not comparing yourself to others as much, trying to focus on not focusing on your flaws and rather focusing on your strengths and your abilities and your values. So when you guys can start to do some of those things, you're really going to start to see that shift within yourself. So that was my little ramble today. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you found some connection between what self-love isn't and what it is, and how you can start to do that for yourself in your own journey. And with that being said, if you often feel lonely, if you often feel like you don't know what is the next right step for you to take in your self-love journey, because it can be very overwhelming and it can be very isolating. And I don't want that for you, friend. I want you to feel loved and supported and empowered and connected by those around you. So with that being said, I do have a program, and I'm not bringing it up properly. I do have a program called the Self-Love Revolution with Martina, and it is the program that I have created for you to be able to help you through your self-love journey. We become lifelong friends in this journey. The program is available to you for life. We go through this journey together, through the highs, through the lows, through the celebrations, through the sadness, because that's real life, right? Real life isn't just take a program and feel complete and feel healed. Our healing is never ending. Our healing is always going to be happening. And so I desired to create this space that we can walk with our self-love journeys together and have each other to support and encourage and inspire and empower. As we do that healing, as we step into that self-love, we can really start to see that version of ourselves that we know has always been hiding inside, but we have just been too afraid to let it out. And that comes with a lot of fear, and it comes with a lot of stepping out of comfort zones. But the feeling you start to receive as you go through that is amazing. And yeah, it's like indescribable. So we would love to have you join us. We are a fun group of women who just are there for each other no matter what comes up. So much support and love go into this group. So right now, this group is being offered to you at $100 off. So it's at the crazily low price of $223 Canadian, $164 American. That is the lowest I've ever had this program, and what you receive is insane, in my opinion, on the benefits and the community you receive upon being in this program with us. So anyway, if you have any questions, if you want to join us, we would love to welcome you with open arms and have you join us in this journey to self-love together. Yeah. That's all I had for you ladies today. I hope it was helpful once again. And I look forward to seeing you next week for our Wednesday Wellness then. And I love you guys so much. And I hope you have the best day. We'll talk